Have you ever felt stuck in a routine that leads nowhere, even though you deeply wish to change? Many start the year full of promises and energy, but end up losing their way, repeating the same patterns that keep them stagnant. It's frustrating, isn't it? What no one tells you is that starting anew isn't just about motivation. It's about strategy, planning, and consistent action. And what if I told you that you're just a few steps away from truly transforming your life? In this video, I'll show you how to treat the beginning of the year as the best starting point, using simple and practical tools that can revolutionize your results. Forget the cliche of just wishing for good things. It's time to make it happen. So, how are you feeling today? Tell me in the comments. Let's talk. There's something powerful about a new beginning, isn't there? The simple act of turning the page on the calendar carries incredible symbolism. It's like an invitation to rewrite your story. The start of the year is the perfect moment to ask yourself, what do I want to be, do, and achieve in the coming months? This is the time to make plans, review habits, and embrace change. For example, imagine someone deciding to start a morning routine. Something simple like waking up 30 minutes earlier to meditate, read, or plan the day. This small gesture can transform the rhythm of the entire journey. But do you know what makes this idea even more interesting? The possibility of intentionally reinventing your life. This doesn't mean changing everything at once, far from it. Start with something practical. List 3 things you'd like to improve or achieve. It could be learning a new skill, spending more time with family, or saving for a dream. The secret lies in treating these goals like seeds. Nurture them with small daily actions. Now, with the excitement of starting fresh, here comes an essential question. How do you turn these intentions into concrete actions? If there's a secret to turning dreams into reality, it's called planning. Without a plan, even the best ideas can get lost like leaves in the wind. Planning is, in fact, creating the map that will guide you to where you want to go. Think of planning as packing for a long trip. You decide what to take, leave out what's unnecessary, and organize everything to make the journey easier. Want a practical example? Imagine breaking down a big goal, like saving for an international trip, into simple steps, such as creating a monthly budget and setting spending priorities. What seems big becomes achievable when you break it into parts. However, planning isn't just for grand projects. It's crucial in daily life. From outlining your week to setting annual goals, it allows you to make decisions with more clarity and calm. And the best part? Planning brings a sense of control, even amidst chaos. Start with something simple. Grab a notebook or use an organization app and make a to-do list for tomorrow. This daily practice is a powerful first step. Speaking of first steps, have you subscribed to our channel yet? That way, you won't miss anything as we help you plan for success. Good planning doesn't happen by chance. It's built with intention and purpose. The first step is to look back and reflect on what worked and what didn't. It's like reviewing a movie you've already watched, noting the standout moments and where the story could improve. Use this reflection as a basis for setting a theme for the year. For example, if last year was chaotic, how about adopting simplicity or focus as this year's keyword? That way, all your goals and decisions will align with this central concept, acting as a compass for your actions. Another essential point is creating clear and measurable goals. Avoid vague objectives, as it's like trying to hit a target you can't see. Instead of saying, I want to be healthier, define something like, I will walk 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. See the difference? Now you have something tangible and trackable. This kind of goal not only creates clarity, but also motivation. And do you know what's interesting? Every well-planned goal makes room for organizing your priorities, which brings us directly to the next essential point for success. That big dream that seems impossible. It only seems so because it's all lumped together. The key to making your goals achievable is breaking them into small parts. Imagine you want to learn a new language. Starting might feel daunting, but what if you break this goal into smaller steps? First, download an app to learn the basics. Then, dedicate 15 minutes a day to practice. Later, start watching shows in the language or joining conversation groups. The secret is to see the big goal as a puzzle. Assemble piece by piece, and the complete picture will naturally emerge. In addition to structuring your goals, setting priorities is what separates success from wasted time. It's easy to get lost in an overload of tasks, but ask yourself, what really needs to be done now? Make a list with 3 daily priorities. Just 3. This strategy reduces overwhelm and keeps the focus where it's most needed. Remember, it's not about doing everything, but about doing what matters. Speaking of which, how do you organize your routine? That's what we'll explore in the next point, which promises to revolutionize how you manage your time. Time is the most democratic resource there is. We all have the same 24 hours a day. But the difference lies in how we use those hours. This is where calendars come into play as true allies. Scheduling commitments and tasks in the calendar helps you visualize your time, identify gaps, and avoid the infamous leave it for later. For example, you can reserve fixed times for important activities like studying or exercising, as well as block periods for rest and leisure. This practice not only improves productivity, but also prevents the dreaded mental burnout. The magic happens when you distribute tasks throughout the year, not just in the short term. Big objectives, such as organizing an event or completing a course, can be divided into stages and scheduled in the calendar. This avoids overload and maintains a balance between work and personal life. Try this approach. Set aside 30 minutes at the end of each week to review and adjust your planning. This small routine can bring clarity and prevent feelings of being overwhelmed. And with time under control, it becomes much easier to deal with the emotional challenges that may arise along the way. Let's talk about that in the next point. Fear and judgment are like shadows. They only seem big as long as you stay still. Often, the biggest obstacle to achieving goals is the fear of failure or criticism. But you know what? Everyone feels fear, even the most successful people. The difference lies in how they deal with it. Face your fears as signs that you're growing. For example, if speaking in public gives you chills, start with small steps, like recording short videos for friends. Remember, making mistakes is part of learning, and it's better to try than to live with the doubt of what if. Maintaining focus is also essential, and here's a secret. Attention is like a muscle, and you can train it. One effective technique is setting intensive concentration periods, like in the Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes of total focus followed by 5 minutes of break. Another practical tip is eliminating distractions. Silence notifications, organize your space, and set specific times for important tasks. By committing to your goals and setting aside the fear of judgment, you'll be on the right path. And to ensure you're progressing, it's essential to track your results. Let's understand how to do that in the next point. If you don't measure, how will you know if you're progressing? Tracking your results is like adjusting your route during a trip. It ensures you're heading in the right direction. Establishing metrics doesn't need to be complicated. For example, if your goal is to save money, track your expenses weekly. Want to exercise more? Record the number of days you went to the gym or the time you walked. The secret is to create simple but consistent checkpoints. That way, you turn a vague goal into something tangible and motivating. Moreover, regularly reviewing your metrics allows you to identify what works and what needs adjustment. You might find you're doing better than expected in one area and can increase the challenge. Or perhaps you'll discover that you need to change your approach to achieve better results. The idea is to view these analyses as allies, not as judgment. After all, every little progress is a step toward success. Now that you know how to measure and adjust your progress, the next step is to put it all into practice to transform your life. We've reached the end of this deep dive into strategies that can transform your life, but the real impact only happens when you put all this into practice. So, what's stopping you from starting today? What goals will find a place on your calendar? The secret is to act, test, and adjust because progress is born out of consistency. Now I want to know which of these steps will be the first on your journey of change. Tell me here in the comments. And remember to keep learning and growing, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. There's a recommended video on the screen right now that complements everything we've talked about here. Watch it and take another step toward the life you deserve.